Good morning, YouTube. It's your girl Leela here, like always. Well, today I'm coming to you because I keep getting this hate for still being with Juan because what happened with the kids. And I just want to say this: I broke up with Juan when everything went down and social services said that we had to divide in order to get the kids. I broke up with him. I was even with other men. I had other boyfriends. But it won't right. Them men didn't care about what I was fighting for or that I was fighting for my kids or anything like that. Like half the time I felt like they were trying to use me because I had a place or because I had a car. Juan, on the other hand, has never tried to use me. I didn't have anything for him to use me for. He's always provided as a father, as a man should. And I just think that it's crazy that somebody would want me to leave him when an accident occurred. I could understand it leaving him if I just don't get it. How can people make mistakes? How can people want me to leave him? That's like saying, man, what if it didn't work out between your grandparents back in the day? Let's be real. It was harder times back in the day, you know, especially food stamps and shit didn't get established until the 60s, 1960s. So let's just think about, our grandparents and our great grandparents. They suffered trial and tribulation. What, since it's 2019, we're not supposed to have any issues. We're not supposed to be down on our luck, or we supposed to not be poor. I mean, the shit happens to the best of us. You know what I'm saying? And I just want to say like this, like, I did what the department asked me to do. The Department of Social Services asked me for my baby daddy to move out. He moved out, and eventually, I split ways with him. And even when I split ways with him, he was still trying to be faithful to me. He was still trying to make it work out for me. And I think it's crazy that anybody would ask me to leave Juan because, me and him been through hell and back. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. There's been times where, I've been really, shit, when I first met Juan, uh, my baby daddy Harrison had kicked me out with Sebastian, and I had nowhere to go. I was in California. I didn't know anybody. My brother had just died. He took my three older kids, and I was just out on my luck. And it was Juan that helped me. Juan left his sister's house to go with me, and I'll never forget that. Yeah, we've had our words, we've had our fights, and I wish things were different. I wish we didn't fight and bicker in front of the kids, but we had everyday problems, everyday issues, normal shit, money issues, or, things like that. Or, most of the time I thought he was too lenient on the kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a strict parent. I am very strict. I'm be real with you. You know what I'm saying? And Juan would get on to me because I was just being too strict on the kids, but I didn't want no rambunctious children. I didn't want them to embarrass me when we're out in public. So you need to nip the butt at home. And I feel like a lot of these young parents, they don't. They don't give a fuck what their kids do. They can be humping the air and saying, I'm a thoughty thought, and they think it's funny. Matter of fact, I've seen that shit happen. So I just think that is crazy. And if we can believe that drug addicts can change, if we can believe that we can change into another spiritual being, then why the fuck can't one change? Ever since that the kids have been gone and all of this has happened, me and him has really come to Jesus meeting. You know what I'm saying? Like, we realized that there's things that we should have did. There's things that we shouldn't have said, but we're all human. We all make mistakes. How come I'm not even about to talk about anybody else because none of their fucking issues matter to me. What matters to me is my issues and what's going on with me and my kids and my family. And I just want to say that you fight with your man. You fight with your spouse, and people don't realize that when the kids are grown and gone and they're starting families of your own, you all you have left is your partner, your spouse. That's all you got left. And till they bring grandchildren or until your children need you. And I'm just going to be real with you. And I'm just like, it's easy to walk away from somebody. It's easy. But think about the generations before us if they would have left their significant others. I mean, they have, don't get me wrong, but like my grandmother, for instance, let me tell you about my grandmother. My grandfather died in 78. My grandmother didn't even die until 94. So she spent from 78 till 94 single reason raising her kids. And it was hard for my grandmother. I remember my older uncles and my aunts had to drop out of school in, seventh and eighth grade just to go get jobs to help support the family for one another. And just because you got government assistance or what the fuck ever, that doesn't mean that you can provide for your family on that. Let me be real. Let me tell y'all a little bit about me. When I had all 7 kids living on 124 Glenwood, I had 7 children and I got $523 a month for TANF. That's all I got. My rent there was $850. My bills were say around $100, $200 depending, you know what I'm saying? And that's per bill. Okay, that's water, light, sanitation. And that's not even the extras, phone, cable, you know what I'm saying? And I just think that it's funny, man. People are still quick to judge your situation, but they don't really evaluate it. They don't really put your shoes on because they can't, because they're in their mind thinking, oh, well, this is what I would have done. Well, you ain't me. And when we meet Jesus, when we meet the Lord, we all gonna have to, all our sins is gonna be weighed in front of us. And I guess on that day, I'll know if I made the right or wrong decision. But I know one thing. When my brother was married, he was schizophrenic. Let me be real. He had a lot of issues. He had a lot of anger issues. He had a lot of abandonment issues. And I just feel like I wish his wife would have been there for him instead of divorcing him. And she divorced him while he was in jail. I ain't mad at her. I'm still friends with her to this day. Shit happens. Like I said, she has to evaluate herself and her life in front of the Lord one day. And I mean, I wish she would have never left my brother. I wish that things would have just played out differently. I think that if that one occurred, then my brother would have still been here today. But it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, all I'm saying is you can't really judge somebody's choices if you've never lived their life. I mean, there's so many times where we can look at somebody else's life and, say what we think that they should do, but who says that's the right decision for them? That's all I'm saying. Like, it doesn't even matter to me that people judge me, but it's like the people that that's supposed to love me and they come to me with this bullshit. It really hurts my heart. It really fucks my head up, because it's all like, all right, so you can tell me that you can just up and leave your spouse. You can just up and leave them. If any situation happened that you got it so good in your life that you can just up and leave them. You ain't got to worry about the bills, your kids, anything. You can just up and leave them. Well, what about the parent that they're asking to leave? When exactly are they supposed to have communication with their kids? Never. How does that make sense? Why does that make sense? Our government is so fucked up. Let me tell you something. I was on Facebook this morning, and a 28-year-old guy was messaging a 14-year-old girl, and they had sex, and he got 6 years for it. And this was in Williamsburg. So a guy went out, met a girl online, fucked her, got the nasty pictures sent to one another to prove it, and he gets 6 years. I never abused or neglected my children. Juan has never abused or neglected his children, but yet we're in this fight. You can't tell me that life is fair. And what else did I read? I read that uh, registered sex offenders can have custody of their children. So if registered sex offenders can have custody of their children, why the fuck can't I? I never hurt my child in any form or fashion. I just protected them to the best of my ability. Like, people get on my motherfucking nerves with that bullshit, yo. Like, honestly. Oh, this is what I would do. This is what you would do with your support team, with your family, with your circumstances. You're not living in my motherfucking life. Like, half these people, I'm not gonna judge because I don't know what the fuck they've been through. But I'm telling you what I go through. And if you gonna sit here and say that Juan don't need to be a part of my life, when Juan and the kids were gone, do you know how fucking bad that was? To have nobody, to nothing. Like, it was bad. It was tearing me up, man. Like, my nose itches, sorry. But I'm just saying, yo, like, and I try to explain to her, dude, we took a rib from man, right? When you go in front of the Lord, you become one soul. That's why if you're a Christian, and even if your husband's not a Christian, if you believe in the Lord, then the Lord will let your spouse come as well, because you become one, and it's like a divine power. Good thing me and Juan believe in God. And believe me, sometimes he teaches me stuff, yo. Like, all the time. When I listen to him, yeah, y'all think, oh man, this bitch, whatever. I don't really give a fuck what y'all think about me. But I know I've been through a lot, and I got a lot of gaps in my education. I got a lot of gaps in my knowledge with Christ. Juan, he really feels that. You know what I'm saying? Like, he ain't the sharpest tool in the toolbox, but he knows his shit, and what he knows, and he's correct about it. You know what I mean? And I'm just tired of people trying to belittle him. He don't get up on YouTube because he's hurt, and he feels like, you know, he's going to do what he got to do. But I feel like I want to get my story out there. I feel like this shit should never happen to another family. This should never happen to anybody else. And if it's so easy for y'all to leave y'all spouses, leave them. Who am I to judge? I don't give a fuck. But don't sit here coming on my YouTube channel or come on my inbox and ask me to leave my man. Like, no. Or ask me if the kids wanted me to leave him, would I leave him? No, I'm not going to leave him. I got 3 kids with him, and he decided to be a father to 4 other children when I met him. Those weren't his kids, but you know what? He fucking provided for those kids, fed those kids, went out and worked for those kids. And then you want me to leave him when their fathers left me in despair, when their fathers treated me like shit? I mean, you want to know a little something about Harrison? Right after I had fucking Xavier, he stomped my face in. Imagine that, going to pick up your child, gotta have sunglasses on and a big ass fucking bruised Nike print on your face. Yeah. What did Harrison ever do for his children? What did Harry ever do for his son? Nothing. Nothing. Even when Harry went and met Sebastian, I paid for everything. I paid for the outfit he gave Sebastian, the dinosaur he gave Sebastian, and I'm just like, okay, I keep on forgiving and forgiving because I want whatever I did to other people to be forgiven. But for you to ask me to leave my spouse when my spouse had a legitimate accident doesn't make no sense to me. It don't. And I just want to say another thing. Life is crazy, yo. Life is crazy, and tomorrow's not promised. And let me, I'm fucked up with a lot of shit that I do. And if y'all out there think that I didn't have Juan's ass beat for what happened with the kids, you got another thing fucking coming. Because my cousin came over and beat the shit out of him. And that's real. And you just gotta fucking forgive. You gotta forgive. I, mm, you gotta forgive. That's hilarious. That one cousin, he beat the shit out of all three of my baby daddies. Now that I think about it, but that's a story for another day. But I just want to say, yo, like, we're here in America and we're giving our supplies and our resources to other countries, and we're allowing other people to raise our children, and I think that it's fucking crazy. They will never get me to understand why. Seriously. You think abuse don't happen in foster home? Huh? I got a fucking list of the abuse that happened to just my kids in foster care. They've gotten a dog bite. My 5-year-old got his arm broken. So how can these people have accidents and still be qualified to raise children when we had a legitimate accident, and I haven't seen my kids in almost 2 years. I just think that is funny, man. It's funny. We can go out here and we can break the law, and our children can come to visitation knowing that we're on timeout, we're on punishment. You know what I'm saying? And I can't help but to be a little jealous of other people's circumstances. It's like, fuck, maybe I should have been a junkie. Maybe I should have been a thief. Maybe I should have been a killer. Maybe I should have been whoever. Because at the end of the day, those people get to see their kids. Those people get to talk to their kids. My babies, it's been going on fucking 2 years since I've talked to them. Don't get me wrong. I thank God that the foster parent is now allowing me to talk to my older children, but it's not like really talking to them because it's on speakerphone. Don't get me wrong. I appreciate it, but it's not like my boys can be real with me. They can't really tell me what's going on because they got 4 eyeballs watching them. And I just think it's funny. I think it's hilarious. You know why? Because they really don't want me to know how they running shit there because it's probably not right. And let me tell you something. If you go to take some children in, there are some people that absolutely, absolutely love kids. That's what's up. You know what I'm saying? But if this my home and this is where the fuck I'm supposed to be living until I'm 18 years old, why the fuck does my kids keep going to respite? Because you sick? I or because you going out of town? I don't think that I ever had that. Real parents don't have that. Real parents don't say, hey, this child needs to go to another stranger's house because I am feeling sick. I'm feeling under the weather. I need a break. I didn't get no breaks. Mikkel was almost 11 years old. I didn't get no breaks. I was on my grind. And now you get the better years of his life now that he's almost a fucking adult. That's what kills me. That's what kills me. These people didn't come in to my children's life and teach them manners and teach them X, Y, and Z. Matter of fact, I don't know one fucking thing that these people has taught my children. Do they read the Bible to the kids like I used to? Do they sit down and meditate or talk about their body and their physique and or what they're going to do when they get older? Or are they just full-time babysitters? Do they just do the bare minimum and get by? That's all I'm saying. I know this is starting to talk about other people, but it just sucks. It sucks because this is not what's supposed to be happening. This is out of the norm. This is not right. You think back in the day when Ray Charles saw his brother drown, you think somebody came and knocked up on his mama's hut? No. No. And that child died. But yet, I saved my child. I resuscitated my child. And I still got to live with the fact that I can't see them. I can't see them. None of them. And it's crazy because if abuse only happened to 3 kids, why did they take off 7 of my children? How come when social services comes into other people's homes, they take the child that was hurt or the child that was abused or neglected? But yet nobody can answer my questions. And even Calandra Cook on Stan couldn't identify a safety plan. So if you can't identify a safety plan, then the whole fucking court case should have been thrown the fuck out. Because as far as I'm concerned, I did everything that I was supposed to do. And for you to sit there and say that a man can't be a man and be in their children's lives and to pay bills and to be a father and to teach these boys the manly thing to do, you are fucked in the head. We're a country on freedom, okay? This is not a dictatorship. The government cannot come in your fucking home and tell you how to run your life. If you want to be Muslim, you can be Muslim. If you want to be Christian, you can be Christian. Okay? Those are your choices. You can't sit there and say that my children can't be around their natural born father because he was born schizophrenic. That doesn't make sense. Because let me tell you something. My mother was schizophrenic. My brother was schizophrenic. So that shit didn't just start with Juan. Schizophrenia has been in my life since I've been alive. I came from a schizophrenic woman. And I just think that it's hilarious. And people don't know. Like, I've did my research. The research shows that you get most of your characteristics. It is combined, but for schizophrenia and mental health disease, you get that shit from your mom. Just saying. I'm not a fucking doctor though, but I do read. I'm not saying that everything that I read is correct because it's not. Let's be real. These scientists don't know shit. Let's get real. I keep saying let's get real because I'm getting hyped and I'm not trying to get hyped and I'm not trying to get overworked and I'm not trying to fucking make a big deal of this shit, but it is a big deal. It's a big deal to me. And I just want to talk about, damn, what the fuck was his name? The fucking scientist that died. It doesn't matter. None of them fucking people matter because all they do really is talk about the things that they've been through or the things that they did research on. And it's just research. It's not concrete. And I think that is crazy. And this whole case should have been thrown out. Because why? There was no doctor on trial. You can't treat every man the same because not every man is the same. And that's a fact. So you telling me every time you see a white man, they're all white supremacists, all part of the KKK? They're not. I'm just being real. I'm sick of this shit. I'm sick of people fucking judging Juan because you read a description. Okay, I can write a description about you that can be real fucked up. People can write a description about me that can be real fucked up. It's people's you know um perspective of the situation. Doesn't mean that they're right. Doesn't mean that they're right. God, like I can tell you all day long. This looks like a purple lighter, but someone else might say it's a violet lighter. Someone else might think it's a pink lighter. There ain't no name of the color on this lighter. So who's wrong? Is it a pink lighter? Is it a purple lighter? Is it a violet lighter? Is it fuchsia? like, like Jesus, man. Like, I mean, I don't know. I'm just trying to be real. I just want to be real and honest and upfront. And I think that is fucked up that people think that I should leave Juan if they believe that a drug addict can get clean and be a successful to be a parent. Then why can't we forgive our spouses, forgive ourselves? Why do we have to wait for somebody else's approval? Like, fuck that. I just think it's crazy. And I just wanted to let y'all know that for everybody that hates Juan and don't have a legitimate reason to hate Juan, fuck you. Fuck you. Honestly, like I just think it's funny. Yep. It's early in the morning. It's always fucking early. Go to bed early. But yeah, that's what I got to say. And if y'all feel like I'm rambling, I don't care. This is my YouTube channel. Ain't nobody asked you to be here. But if you want to be here, please like and subscribe. I don't know. Mm. Don't get me wrong. There's days where I want to leave him. There's days where I just don't want to take it anymore. But when I think about my grandparents, go back to my grandparents. When I think about my grandparents and the trials and tribulations that they went through, like my shit's fucking bullshit. You know what I'm saying? It's nuts.